Welcome to the Spirit. It's going to give you a quick run through of the accommodation or the living areas. This is our cockpit. These seats are nearly 2 meters long, and you can see when we're at anchor, this is really our lounge area. This area also has the ability to have a table, and it also we can make a day bed with it or a full bed. We can sleep out here if the conditions are right, and also we can do work on our computer and make videos and stuff. We have on the floor here is the table. This is just foam, fiberglass. It slots into the end here, and then it also goes down here and fills in the area there and becomes a bed. When we're at anchor like this, you can see we've removed the tiller. The tiller's there in a cassette. We can actually lift the tiller out of the boat, or the rudder out of the boat. It's in a cassette here and it lifts up and out. Just push it and it moves. We've got the autopilot, rudder feedback unit, and the water fill for the water is back there as well. Underneath these seats is all storage. They're divided into 3 compartments. We have fuel tanks at the back. There's 2 fiberglass gas bottles here, and then in between here is some food storage. On this side we have the battery for the outboard, the engine control, and then here we have some splicing tools and electrical spares, some deck spares, and then back here we have another 20 litre fuel tank for the outboard. The outboard is back here. You step down into a lower area. And this is this area is where we sit if it's really windy or if the weather's really bad. We're on watch. You can sit down here and you've got plenty of protection out of the wind and the rain, and it's quite nice and cosy. Underneath here as well, we've got storage. Underneath this whole compartment down low in the bilge is a water tank, and then above that we have access through this hatch here, and then that. In there is some more storage in the water tank. Underneath this floor is more storage. We keep the parachute anchor and the drogue and 300 feet of double braid rope, nylon. That's really just our emergency equipment. Now, Claudia likes to cook, and we just felt cooking inside, it's quite a small area inside, so we thought we'd put the galley, well, part of the galley outside. So underneath the seat here is a 2-burner gas stove, and Claudia cooks on that stove a lot of the time. Also she uses the electric cooker inside. And then if you want to come inside, okay, so this is the inside of the boat. Here you've got a bulkhead here, or a little sort of ring frame. This is like our galley area here, and then forward of that area we've got the 2 single berths either side. A mast compression post here, and then the centerboard here forward. So the centerboard and the mast compression post divide both bunks. Okay, we've got our storage here for our clothes, cameras, clothes and things. And underneath the bed there's heaps of storage as well. We keep our bags are under there with a few other items, but we try and keep it mainly empty. You can see forward there's rope bags, these little netting bags. We use those for storage. There's also a fan here above the bed. There's a small hatch here. And then over here on the port side, or on my right, is the emergency escape hatch. Water maker, this is a pre-filter. Seacock comes in through the pre-filter, through the high pressure pump, and then there's a membrane underneath this shelf here. This is all storage for Claudia's stuff. We've got bowls, plates, tea, different types of food, cooking utensils. We try not to use a lot of plastic on board, so we have these paper bags. Her saucepans, little kettle. This is our 2000 watt inverter. And then back here we have our 2 lithium batteries. These are 160 amp hours each, or a total of 320 amp hours. All our electronics are in here in this cupboard. Solar regulators and everything else, VHF, autopilot, the whole lot. We have some cigarette lighter for 12 volt to charge, and a couple of USBs. The same as well outside, there's 2 USBs and a cigarette lighter. Cloudy has got all these glass containers here, again trying to not use too much plastic if we can help it. And then these contain everything that we use every morning to make our juices with, nuts, what have we got, turmeric, hemp seeds, all different types of stuff. And then over here, flours, coconut flour, almond flour, quinoa, cereal, lentils, and a heap of different spices and herbs. And then the same thing over here, more storage. Claudia keeps all the cooking oils there, and then some vegetables and some fruits. Up here, some more storage. And then at the end of the shelf here, we've got the BD50, which is a Danfoss fridge compressor. And then in the back here, this is the fridge area. This is where all the produce is kept. You can see there's 2 access points. They both go into the same fridge, and just allow you to access the fridge easier from the left and the right hand side. And then the plate runs right across the back of the fridge here, so it takes up the whole fridge. It's quite an efficient unit and works really well. We've got a lot of these little netting bags around. They're really good because they're super lightweight. We can pull them off and clean them. They're really easy to make, so if we want to put any more anywhere else. But they're just great because living in such a small space, you've got to be organised, or else you never find anything. Stuff gets buried under stuff. So we keep all our wires here for charging everything, phones, and here we've got toothbrush, glasses, torch, and then up the top here we've got a spare nav light. I've got a knife, filleting knife, another torch, really powerful torch, and then 2 headlamps. And that's just so that if if you're in bed and you've got to make a run for it outside, you can just grab a light on your way out and then see what's going on. These little bags are fantastic. This one holds the iPad, and then down here this just holds our wallet and any change that we've got. There's a couple of ways you can create more space on board if you wanted to. You can remove one of these beds and you could put a hole through the forward bulkhead there, which is pretty easy. And in that forward area you could build a double berth, or you could put a shower and head if you wanted to. Now you could also put a double berth forward and remove both of these beds, and on one side of the centerboard here you could put a toilet and a shower, and then you'd have access through the forward bulkhead to a double berth up there. There's a lot of different things you could do to the boat quite easily, and that's probably, we think, the best solution for a double berth if someone wanted to put a bathroom head on board and a double berth. Definitely the best way would be to, on this side of the centerboard, have your head and then access up the other side to a double berth forward. Over on this side we have just a couple of other things. You can see we've got the drinking water. This is in a stainless steel canister. When we're making water, after we've filled our big water tank, we'll then turn the valve, and then that feeds water up to our drinking tank. We don't like to drink out of the epoxy, so we have a stainless steel drinking tank. And we've got the B&G processor here for all the wind instruments and the speed and the depth. And then we've got, you can see a couple more instruments up here above where you enter. This is a B&G FFD, which gives you all the information, and then the compass here for the autopilot. A couple of handheld VHFs here, which are always charged and really easy to grab, ready to go. We've got an AIS unit that normally sits here, but it's away having a MMSI number cleared and a new one put in. Breaker for the anchor winch, VHF, battery monitor, Iridium Go. This is for our satellite communications. And then we have LED lighting. The LED lighting's underneath this red sarong here. I think that's pretty much it. We'll go up forward now and we'll have a look at the forward locker. We have the anchor winch here on the starboard side on the right, and then down here we have the forward locker. The bulkhead is here, runs across in front of the centreboard. It's quite deep, it's probably about 6 feet, or just under 6 feet. Now, looks a bit rough. We've never painted it because we like to see the condition of everything, and we like to be able to make sure that everything's in good order. We hang all our lines here at the moment and a couple of sails. Then we've got the anchor locker here. Then forward, we've got storage. I've got life jackets, fiberglass, paint, a couple of 3 spare autopilots, a heap of rope, spear gun, a couple of hammocks, and then a couple of boxes with some electrical spares and stuff, some rigging spares, some dyneema, another sail, and then behind that is some fins. And then this is the door. This is the door that goes onto the companionway and locks the boat. We very rarely use it while we're cruising around Southeast Asia. And then in here you've got the anchor locker and the windlass. You can see forward. This is the chain plate for the inner forestay for the staysail, and then forward here is just a void. It's an empty void, and then this is like a small bulkhead. We've got a spare stern anchor that's a Fortress 27. I think it's an FX 27. Bosun's chair, staysail, asymmetrical, a lot of spares. We've got a lot of rope on board. And a furler, that's the furler for the staysail. And this is an area where you could put a double bed. Now the opening would be here through the bulkhead. You'd put an opening. And then you'd be able to get a bed in here. The head of the bed would be about 1.3 metres wide, and then the length of the bed is a bit over 190 centimetres. So it'd end up being a small double, but you could definitely get a double bed in here. Okay, so that concludes our tour. Just on the way out, I'll show you this is where we keep the remote for the windlass. Really easy to access it there. Quick tour of the foredeck. So where the chain plate comes out for the staysail to attach. You can see the chain runs forward. We've got a little wear strip on here, PVC, fiberglassed onto the deck, which is a wear strip for the chain. It goes forward through the tube and over the bow roller. Alright, hope you enjoyed this tour. Any questions, let us know.